I started reading books as soon as I can remember, all the way back in kindergarten. Now I'm 15 and I currently read 10 books a month. Understanding the importance of books and what it takes to get ahead is truly what I want to advise with this video. And you're here to learn exactly how to get this system that I do to go from 0 books to 10 books per month. Even though I started reading at kindergarten, I've lacked the consistency to read. But now that I understand this process from point A to point B, I can go from 0 books to fully doing exactly what I want to do in any kind of career I want. Now, why should you trust me? I've written my own personal book, and one that I would highly suggest to many people, that's changed their lives and made their view look much more efficient out there. It may be a fiction novel, but if you want to check that out, you can in the top link of the description. But here's how to go from that exact system to not only read that book, but also a plethora of books, both coming from me and from other creators of the like. So the first major thing you need to understand to go from this exact system of books from point A to point B is truly starting at the small scale. Books are a lot. They take plenty of hours to get through, and not knowing where to get started or how to be prepared, that's not the best way I would suggest following. Understanding how to be prepared with reading a book is to start with this small scale. Start with pages. You know that books have tens of pages in it, no matter the size, and no matter if it's for kids or not. Start from 0 pages to up to at least 12. 12 is the max I would always suggest because it's easy to get done no matter what kind of literature you're reading, whether it's fiction or non-fiction. How I do this each and every night is that I plan it from my free periods. You know exactly what times you are free. And for me, that is from 6 p.m. through 8 p.m. as well as 4 a.m. through 5 a.m. It all depends on what time you go to bed and what time you go to sleep. So understanding how to get better at those allows this small scale of reading to get ahead. And it's truly building on this each and every day. It doesn't matter how much you physically read. It could be more than 12 pages, but it shouldn't be less. So it's understanding this exact system. 5 times consistency. 5 days a week through Monday all the way through Friday. You may take breaks in between this period, but if you want to get through to 10 books per month, which is a lot, 10 books per month, then you need to have at least an 80% consistency each and every time you read. Knowing this small scale and how it takes to get ahead, it really starts from point A all the way to the second step. Once you build this consistent habit of reading 12 pages per day, it doesn't matter how much you're learning, but it should matter just the efficiency you're getting at. And it's really the pure consistent drive. Books are a lot like the healthy habits we do, for instance, exercising or how to get up and sleep each and every day. So having this consistent drive of what you're reading, even if it's good or bad, it doesn't matter because a good book makes you learn physically. It makes you learn whatever kind you are. And that's really the good place I wish to point out at the small scale. Not only is it looking at the consistency of what book you're reading, but it's also just what book you're reading. Fiction, non-fiction, self-improvement based, doesn't matter which one it is exactly, but what it needs to do is to not only make you read these books fast, but it also learn. That's the point I want to emphasize with this consistent drive. This period of following the small scale each and every day. Learning is the point of books, and that's why we advise to read as much as we should. So having this good period, following this exact schedule, will get you done 1 book per week, which is great. 1 book per week is one of the best kinds of systems you possibly can do. I've always had this fascination with reading books, getting it done super fast in both the time as well as the period. But this is small. When we're thinking at this scale, we see 12 pages per day, and then if we should have 1 book per week done, then it wouldn't go above 12 pages. So going back to this small scale, these two go hand in hand in that once you have that consistent drive, you can up the ante. You can go from 12 pages to 15 pages a day, 15 pages up to 25. It really depends on the book itself. And if you want to have that mental fortitude of just getting one book per week done, you need to have this consistent drive and this mental idea to get a book done. I started my book journey this year getting 2 books done in a week, and it was really solid on my end. They mostly fit because the books itself were short, but it also allowed me to look into my schedule and to find it out. The way we use books is that it not only saves you time from just consuming content, as I mentioned in the doom scrolling video, but it also allows you to look at these details and to see where you can improve. The reason why we want to learn is to get better. I made this chart here to not only look at it as a money perspective, but also just a more creative venture, whether you're in music, science, or math itself. It doesn't matter which kind, but once you figure out this process, you will be able to get 1 book per week done. But that's not what I say with this video. It's good to not only build this consistent habit, and if you fall back into this period of not reading, then it's good to look back at the small scale and start with the tiny amount of pages. But we're looking here at the long-term goal. You want to get through 10 books per month so that you can have at least over 100 books read a year. Do you not know how crazy that sounds? It sounds unbelievable in the year 2025. And yes, you will be made fun of for reading so many books, for being a nerd, to say. But you're ahead of people. You're better than them, and you shouldn't compare yourself to the lower level when you're trying to read as much books as you humanly possible. It's not about reading as much, but it's about learning as much. The more you learn, whether it's fiction or, if the physical case, non-fiction, the more you learn, that's the process you want to get done. So, finding the exact system for books, 10 per month, it's truly, the final tip is the sacrifice. I mentioned that 80% is one of the best ways to start. But once you get to this point of building a good habit of just reading at least 2 books per month, if you want to get to 10 books per month, it's getting rid of everything that you find distracting. The way we should emphasize books in where it is, and the perfect window time, I'd say, for this sacrifice period from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., is to just truly start looking at books as a work level. Yes, it's consuming content, but it's better than what you will ever get from YouTube or any kind of social media that you don't learn. YouTube is great for what you can do to be a physical learner, but if you want to get ahead in whatever field you want, to have your dream succeeded, and not something your parents say, but something that you physically want to do, then it starts by looking into these books and to read. Look into that, you start sacrificing everything you do. Sometimes that's the connections you build. Other times it's the videos and channels you watch. All depends on what you want to do, and how I go about it is by reading all this in so much time. Once you read enough books, you'll understand that it's a lot of this just following this system of starting small, building that consistency, and then locking fully in 100%. It's not the 10%, not the 20%, it's the 100% process. And getting huge into reading now, I've been so adamant on just getting all these books done. I've procrastinated myself, and you'll have burnout periods and stuff. But I feel good. I've done everything I wanted to just build this system, and I'm proud to share my knowledge to the world, to just not only how to read better, but it's also how to just focus in on what you're reading. I would 100%, looking back, suggest nighttime periods and this window, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., as you're learning what you want to do and also how to emphasize it. But the thing about books is, unlike the gym, you're not physically getting stronger, you're mentally getting sharper. So, understanding books as a self-improvement basis, once again, you're not going to get paid for it. So, If you want this exact system from 0 to 10 books per month, that's up for you to decide. If you want to get ahead of people, to be 100% consistent in every single aspect of your life, then it really starts with reading books. And this full-on guide I emphasize with later courses that I plan to make come years down the line. This is what I do for a living, to read books and to share my knowledge with people on what to do exactly. If you want to have more books to read, check out my video of what books, the 3 books I suggest from the books I read in the past several years, as well as the book I've written in the top link of the description. That's a great place to start if you don't know any inspiration and don't have the money for any kind of books. But it is a one-time deal if you want to just get this free book, as everything else coming from me will cost a penny. But for now, if you want to check me out and talk about this books or any kind of general self-improvement topics, you can in my socials down in the description. If you want to check out other ideas, it's down there too. And until next time, take care.